Hello people, Freizeit again. Today I show you how to heal efficiently with a heal priest in phase 3 of World of Warcraft Season of Discovery, and especially in the Sunken Temple Raid. First, some overall information, what wounds, spells I use and how high the Prio is on those spells. First, your heal spell Prio. First is Prayer of Mending. You can use that on cooldown, it's always the best option, make good use of it. Second is Penance. It's very mana efficient. When only one target that gets damaged really hard, always use that one first. 3. Circle of Healing. Use it when the whole raid gets damaged. It heals the whole group of the target you use it on. 4. Renew. I use rank 1 to make Prayer of Mending jump from a target that will not get damaged anytime soon. Use your strongest renew on the tanks or on the tank when only one tank is tanking at the moment. 5. Flash Heal. When you can insta-heal with your Surge of Light, you can save your tanks or a player that will die the next seconds. Heal. If non-Prayer of Mending or Penance is not ready, but I have to do some healing, I use rank 1 to heal a damaged target. Rank 4 for stronger heals, but most of the time I just use rank 1. 7. Power Word Shield. Just to save someone, don't spam it. It's very mana inefficient. Try to use instant flash heal if possible before shielding. 8. Greater Heal. I just use it when all other healers are dead and I have to make big heals, or when I am dead and in Spirit of Redeemer. Then your other heals of course are Dispel. You need to dispel and abolish diseases. Keep an eye on magic debuffs that are not deadly. Just wait until there are 2 debuffs to dispel. Don't always just dispel everything in an instant, it costs a lot of mana. For mana, make sure to use your dispersion more than once. Don't wait until you have no mana. Use it on like 60% and then use it on cooldown. It has a very low one, 2 minutes, and you can use it sometimes 3 times in a fight. Same with Shadow Fiend. As soon as you know that the fight will last longer than 5 minutes, use it when you have like 60 or 50% of your mana, and then use it again when it's ready again. Don't forget to pack in some mana potions. You can use them as often as dispersion with a 2-minute cooldown, and you should do that if you have mana problems. So let's get into the wounds. First, the wounds I use. On the head, Divine Aegis. It is just a ton of shielding. Chest, Serendipity. It has good synergy with Surge of Light. You can insta-heal with Flash Heal and your cast time for heal gets reduced. In this raid sometimes there's a huge amount of damage coming in that makes it really useful. Waste, Empowered Renew. Just very useful to insta-heal to make your Prayer of Mending jump in an instant if it is on a target that will not get damaged anytime soon. And if you have another priest heal, you can both use Renew on the same target. Legs, Prayer of Mending is still your number 1 heal, just like in phase 2. Compared to your non-wound heals, it's just overpowered. Feet, Dispersion. I already talked about that when I talked about mana regeneration. It's a very strong one. In the Sunken Temple, as I said, I recommend using it at like 60% mana and then keep it on cooldown. Obviously, only use it when the raid is not low or getting too much damage, since you are not able to use any heal spells while using dispersion. Wrist, Surge of Light. As I said, good synergy with Serendipity. Sunken Temple bosses deal much more damage than Gnomeregan bosses, so you will be happy to have a great insta-heal and then reduce the cast time of your normal heals. Hands, Penance or Circle of Healing. I use Circle of Healing most of the time in Sunken Temple since there is so much weight damage. But there are some bosses where Penance is still better, I think. And if you have 3 other weight healers and you as a priest are supposed to focus on tanks, you can go Penance more often. Of course, these are the wounds I use. There are other options for wounds you can go for. For the head, it is Eye of the Void to support your weight. But as soon as there is one shadow, it's almost never worth it, since the bosses already have the debuff. And if you use it, talk to your other priest healer friends. Only one has to use it to debuff the bosses. Chest, Strength of Soul. If you are more into discipline priest, Strength of Soul can be very useful instead of Serendipity. You shield more and you still want your tanks to get rage and stuff. Waste. If you go for many shields as a discipline priest, Renewed Hope can be very strong. Plus 10% crit makes your Divine Aegis happen much more often and activate your Surge of Light more often. Very good synergy when you shield more often. Legs. Power Word Barrier can be used when there's a time the raid gets a big amount of damage, but I personally think it's never worth it since you lose much healing from Prayer of Mending. Homunculi is the same as the Eye of the Void. If there is a shadow, don't use it. If not, one priest can use it to support the raid with the debuffs. For feet, you can also use Pain Suppression if your tank gets a whole lot of damage at some point. Or Spirit of Redeemer. You will also save some mana here, because your spells are for free. This is something you should use on cooldown if you use it. Wrist, it's always Surge of Light for the heal priest. Hence, as I said, I swap around that a little bit in the raid, depending do I have to focus the raid or the tank. Let's go to the first 6 bosses of Sunken Temple. In our first one we were only able to do those when we stood before a Ranicus. The time was over for our raid and we stopped to not burn out. So now I tell you about my experience there as a heal priest, but be sure the other 2 will follow, so don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss that. It's also possible that we learn more about the first 6 bosses by then, and I will tell you about that in the future video, which will hopefully be in the next reset. First boss, Atal'Alarion. The only thing important for you, he spawns these pillars, and after he will do a knockback. Try to stand between the boss and the pillar, since the pillars makes the boss stronger. With the knockback you destroy the pillar. When the knockback comes, the raid gets high damage and you need to heal it up. That's why I recommend Circle of Healing here instead of Penance. After the knockback the tanks will swap, so keep an eye on the other tank now. Second, Festering Rotslime. Again, I like Circle of Healing more, but Penance is also fine to save single targets. You run around the room, try to avoid the green slime and abolish diseases. They make your mates slow and they might not be able to move out of the green stuff. You save a lot of mana by removing the disease because you have to heal less. Then you go to the heal Prio list I talked about and you should be fine. Next, Atal'ai Defenders. A very easy fight. I recommend Penance here instead of Circle of Healing, since there is not that much weight damage. As a priest, your other job besides healing is to shackle one ghost. There are 6 bosses. As soon as one dies, he comes back as a ghost. A shackled ghost can't do anything. You should arrange who shackles first, second, and so on, since you can only shackle one target. Reshackle your target before the shackle time is over, and it's an easy fight. Dreamscythe Weaver. I go back to Circle of Healing here again. These dragons try to push you into the green stuff on the edge of the battlefield or inside the hole. Don't get pushed there, you are almost instantly dead. The damage is not too much in phase 1 and 2, but as soon as you fight both dragons at the same time, you get double pushed. If possible, use your circle of healing after the first push. Some of your targets might get a shield from Divine Aegis, and the second push does not deal that much damage to them. Keep an eye on your mana pool and kill the bosses. Jammal'an, the Prophet, and Ogom, the Wretched. Here you have to use your Dispel very often. The Prophet will use Holy Fire and Shadow Word Pain on some targets. Try to Dispel it as fast as possible, since it ticks for damage like normal dots. If there is only one tick left, there's almost no need to Dispel anymore, since it's not much damage anymore. So try to Dispel as fast as possible. If you don't have shamans in every group to use Tremor Totem, you have to Dispel the Fear too. The boss will also use Penance. It's damage to the whole weight 3 times. Try again to use your Circle of Healing after the first or second tick, so some people will protect it by Divine Aegis. Move away as a group, as a range group from the Holy Nova. If you spread too much, you might not be able to evade the Holy Novas at some point, because they are spread across the room. Morphaz and Hazzas. I did go back to Penance here again, since the tank gets damage hard again. As a heal, it's a pretty straight fight. Just keep your weight alive, and when he casts the sleep, go Light of Sight behind this pillar, so he is not hitting you. If someone gets hit, you can use the fire speed buff to get them out of the dream. It can be a longer fight, so keep an eye on your mana again. That was it for today's priest guide. But one small thing, because I see that every now and then, when the raid is full HP and you have nothing to heal, attack with your wand. In the end, it can be some damage in these long fights that makes a difference. And you can still regenerate mana since you don't cast a spell. Okay, hope that was helpful for someone. The video for the last 2 bosses will come soon. And if you liked the video, leave a like. And if you didn't like the video, leave a dislike. Bye.